So yeah, I know what you're thinking, unique viewer. You want to click off because my audio is out of sync. Actually, it's not. I had to re-record my entire intro because the sound was distorted in the first one I recorded, which brings us here to this point where I have to re-record my entire intro because this intro was just way too distorted for me to use. The audio was horrendous and I didn't want to put you guys through that, so I have to re-record everything. So yeah, that happened. So hi, my name is Faceless. Today I'm going to be taking you through my $650 budget computer build that does pretty much anything or does everything that I require it to do right now so that my YouTube channel continues running. So that means gaming, screen capture while gaming, as well as using Premiere Pro and Blender for my YouTube channel. This video is going to be structured in a way that I'm going to be going through the components of my PC, that's my motherboard, my graphics card, etc. And then I go through my benchmarks in various games, as well as render speeds in Premiere Pro and Blender and different qualities. So yeah, but before we do that though, look over there. Sub to Faceless. I'll see you guys in the component section of the video. Cheers. Alright guys, this is my baby right here. She's not much, but she is mine. Anyway, for the power supply, we went with Corsair and got the CV550 bronze rated, 80 plus bronze rated power supply. It has an 8-pin connector and it connects directly to my second baby, my EVGA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti. Now this is a GDDR6 6GB card, so it's quite powerful and can play any game at 1080p no problem. But if you have the extra cash, just go for an RTX card, maybe a 2070, maybe a 2060, or go for a 1660 Super if you're under the budget. The performance difference is very minimal. Now if you look over to the right here, we've got my Transcend 256GB SSD used for storing my Windows operating system, as well as my boot programs, my Steam, my Discord, etc. On the bottom here, we've got my 1TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive. Now that's used for storing my other programs, such as games, and just other software in general that I don't need on setup, such as Photoshop, After Effects, Premiere Pro, etc. As for my processor, we went with an i5 8400 6-core processor clocked at 4.0 GHz. Why I didn't go with the stock Intel cooler? Well, there's two reasons for that. One, the stock Intel cooler looks super ugly, and secondly, I wanted to overclock this baby to 4.0 GHz. Originally, its base clock is around 2.8 GHz, so that was enough for me. Motherboard is a Gigabyte H310M SH2, so it has all the features I need and it doesn't break the bank. So pretty much it's a really budget motherboard, but it does all that I require. As for the RAM sticks, we have 16 GB of DDR4 memory clocked at 266 MHz. And of course, you got my LED fans for the RGB. You got blue, white, and blue to match my white to match my Transcend SSD, the blue to match my USB 3.0 cable, and the red LED fan, well, that was to match my SATA cables. But the main reason was because the store I bought the fans from was out of blue LED lights. So yeah. So first game on the benchmark list, we've got Horizon Zero Dawn. Now we ran this at Ultra to push the system to its max, and seeing the frame rates that we got was actually surprising considering this is a really bad port to PC. Anyway, we got an average frame rate of around 57, with the lowest being 52. Now my suggestion would be to lower these graphics down to high. You will see a slight difference in graphical quality, but the performance boost is actually insane. So yeah, if you want a more smooth gameplay experience from Horizon on this system, lower down the graphics quality of Horizon to high and enjoy smooth 80 FPS. Now for the second game on the benchmark list is 2016's Overwatch. Now I saw some pretty surprising stuff here. We ran this game at ultra settings. Now what's surprising is when we were in a competitive match, the game ran at 182 frames per second on this PC. 182. I'm as surprised as you are. Now it's very smooth. There's little to no stutter at all. It's actually playable. The colors Overwatch is such a vibrant game. I don't know why I ever left it, but it's so beautiful, as you can see from the gameplay footage right here. And for the next benchmark, we've got Apex Legends. It mostly ran on the default settings we were given, with only one major tweak, that is to change the default the dedicated memory Apex was given from 4 to 6 gigabytes, so mainly so as to squeeze out every bit of juice that the PC can put out into the game. That being said, we saw an average frame rate of around 130 FPS with some dips during congested fight scenes, or rather congested fights, which happens all the time in Apex. So it dips down to around 90, then goes back up to 130. It's really unstable in that way, but it's a playable experience. I can't really complain much considering this isn't a top of the line PC, but at the same time I need to take into consideration that this is playing at the highest possible settings the PC can. So I'm pretty sure if I did lower down the settings, I'll get a much more stable frame rate. With that being said, let's move on to Cyberpunk, our last benchmark. Our final and last game benchmark is Cyberpunk 2077. I hate this game so much. I've only actually got 9.3 hours on it. Anyway, these were the automated settings that the game came with. So, it optimized the game to high settings. So I assume it's the best that the PC can possibly handle without sacrificing on the performance side of things. Anyway, our average frame rate was around 60 FPS, but it does dip in high actions, in like congested action scenes. It does dip to around 53, 52, but our average is around 60, which is quite playable considering how the game looks. It's actually quite a decent experience. Anyway, enjoy some of the gameplay here as we move on to a software based benchmark in Blender. So in Blender, I rendered out a Jet model to hold her hands up in order to produce a thumbnail for a Valorant video that I'm going to be doing in a few days. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It's going to be my best video ever, so be sure to check it out when it comes out. Anyway, the render itself took around 4 minutes, and I set it to the highest possible render settings that I wanted. So 1080p image was produced here. This is the quality that it came out as. I would say 4 minutes is actually quite a decent time. I literally went to the kitchen, came back, and the render was done. I'm amazed. This processor continues to amaze me. So I really suggest that if you're on a tight budget, I really suggest the 8400. With that being said, let me conclude the video by introducing an outro.
Someone made it to the end of the video.
The what? They are? At the end? You're here? Shit! Alright, you enjoyed the video. Be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you... Where are you going? No, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Where you go? Hey! Subscribe to the channel, man! Did you do it? Did you do it yet?
Yeah, this is Faceless 2 here. So for that one guy who's still watching the video, thank you so much for watching. Faceless 1 appreciates it a lot. And for that one person who hasn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really does motivate Faceless 1. And with that being said, we're 14 subs away from 100, so it'll be a big milestone for us. Thank you so much again for watching. Cheers. Did I say cheers in this voice? Oh my god, this is so cringe.